Yo, what's up, guys? It's me, Elijah, back with another video, back with another movie review. And today I will be talking about The Odyssey. Man. So I just watched this movie last night. This is a very long movie, man. It is so long, and trust me, you feel it. That's what she said. Sorry, but yeah, this is a very long movie. Um, it's not a bad movie, but in my opinion, it's not Nolan's best movie in my opinion, but it's not horrible. Okay, so by the way, spoilers in this review. All right, if you haven't seen the movie yet, go watch the movie and then watch this video. All right, so spoilers. So where do I begin with this movie review? So The Odyssey is based off the book The Odyssey, right? And I read the book a long time ago back in high school, ninth grade English class, okay? That's when I read The Odyssey, and it's, the author is Homer. It's Homer, the epic. It's a 2,000-year-old story, okay, from Greek mythology. So it's a 2,000-year-old Greek story by Homer, and I believe it was mandatory to read in high school, like in English. I read it in English class. So maybe you read it in history class or English, but I remember reading it in English for ninth grade in high school. But for my school, it was mandatory to read that book for ninth grade. And when we read the book, I fell asleep during certain parts. It was kind of boring. The only part about the book that I liked was the Cyclops, okay? And yes, the Cyclops is in the movie, and I'll talk about that in a second. But so when I first saw the first trailer of the movie, I was hyped. The second trailer and the TV spots of the movie, I was like, okay, now I'm ready to watch this movie. I'm excited. But then I started hearing people's reviews about the movie. People saying that it's, woke, WOKE, that it's not as good as you think it is. The critics love it, but the fans hate it. And I'll say this. After watching the movie, I understand why people don't like it and people hate it. And I get why people love it, okay, especially the critics. Like, I'll say this movie is definitely getting an Oscar, definitely. Nolan, when he made this movie, he was literally trying to get that Oscar award, and it's coming, okay? So he's definitely going to get an Oscar award with this movie pretty soon. I see why the critics love this movie. It's literally like a critic movie. But me as a fan of Nolan, this is not his best film. I still think his best movie is The Dark Knight. Okay, and he said this is his biggest movie of all time. Nah, in my opinion, I don't think so. I think it's The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight was better than this. Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises was better than this. Interstellar, Inception, way better than this. Like I said, the movie's not bad. It's just I had a lot of high hopes and expectations for this movie because the trailers and what people were talking about with the movie, it didn't live up to those expectations, into the hype. But it's still worth watching, though. It's still an okay, good movie, I would say. But yeah, it's not his best film. I will say this: it is better than Oppenheimer and Dunkirk. Those two movies, Oppenheimer and Dunkirk, in my opinion, are just boring. I remember watching Oppenheimer in theaters. I literally fell asleep like towards the end. It was so boring, man. That movie was so boring. And I'll admit, throughout this movie, The Odyssey, I did fall asleep a couple times throughout the movie. I did close my eyes and fall asleep a couple times throughout the movie, which isn't a good sign. And I did go on my phone, here and there as well throughout the movie, because certain parts of the movie, I'll admit, was boring. Like, I was bored, and it was just so long. But anyway, let's just talk about the movie. So, by the way, acting was great. Tom Holland, Matt Damon surprisingly was really good. I didn't really like the choice of Matt Damon being Odysseus, but he did a really good job playing Odysseus in the movie. So he did a great job. Zendaya, who else? John Berthal, Lupita, other actors as well. So the acting was great. It really was. So basically, um, Tom Holland, he is playing the son of Odysseus. Odysseus is on this journey, and he's been away for about 20 years, which I didn't realize it was that long. So he hasn't been home in about 20 years, and he is the ruler and king of Ithaca. Okay. Also, Robert Pattinson, great job as well, acting. He's in a lot of movies too. He's in this. He's in Dune Part 3, and then he'll be in the Batman Part 2, which got moved 2 years, which I'm upset about. But yeah, he did a really good job as well in this movie. So Matt Damon, Odysseus is the king of Ithaca. He's on the journey, the Odyssey. He's been gone a long time. And Tom Holland is a son, and he doesn't remember his dad. And he wants the throne because he's like, well, my dad isn't here. Odysseus is not here, so I might as well be king. But his wife, Anne Hathaway, which I didn't really like. I don't know. I wasn't really feeling Anne Hathaway's character, her as the queen. Like, it was okay. I just wasn't really feeling it like that. But yeah, so she's like, no, I want Odysseus. He might be alive. Maybe he's, I don't know. No one knows where Odysseus is or what happened to him. Like, no one knows. And Tom Holland's character wants to take the throne. I forget his name. I think it's like Tellum something. It's something with a T, but he wants the throne to be king. But I believe Robert Pattinson's character, he's either the king or he wants to be king of Ithaca. So you have Batman versus Spider-Man in this movie. So Robert Pattinson wants to be the ruler, or maybe he is the ruler of Ithaca. So then Odysseus. So all this is happening after the Trojan War, okay? And the Trojan War, I believe, is a true story. That happened, back in ancient times in Greek. And basically, the whole war happened over a woman, Helen of Troy. And basically, the soldiers were in the horse, and then they came out of the horse and attacked everyone. So I thought the whole concept, like them being in the horse, was cool. I thought the horse statue was cool. It was kind of crazy how they showed it. Like when the horse was in the water, some of the men in the horse like drowned and they couldn't like get air. They had to let their own soldiers pass because it would ruin the surprise. And they had to drag the horse, like the other soldiers had to drag the horse into the city. And, they were testing the horse to see, like, to make sure no one was inside of it. And then one guy, he got cut and he didn't he screamed, but they had to cover his mouth. So they literally had to risk, a lot. So people literally passed away in the horse just so that they can attack the people in the city. So I thought the whole horse scene was cool, them being in the horse and then getting out of it. And then the fight scene was cool, leading up to it. And then when they got out the horse was cool, the fight scene with that. The music in this movie, man, you feel it. You feel the bass. You feel just the boom, 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 boom. You feel the drums. You feel just the sounds of the storms, the rain. You feel it. Now, my theater, and it may be different depending on the theater that you're in, but in my theater, man, it was very, very loud, especially when the Cyclops was crying. Very, very loud. And when they had the weather and the storm and the drums, I could feel the beats and the bass. I said, man, this is powerful. So yeah, that was cool. I'll admit that was a cool aspect of the movie. There's a character in here. There's a guy named Agamemnon. Is that his name? Agamemnon. He has a really cool suit. A really, really cool suit of armor. It shows it in the trailer as well. That's probably one of the best suits of armor I've ever seen in a movie or a show. One of is up there. And it does look like the Dark Knight suit. And I'm pretty sure Nolan took some pieces and aspects of the Dark Knight suit and put it into this suit. But it's a really cool battle suit. I would wear it. It's one of the best things about the movie that I liked was Agamemnon's suit of armor. Like, it looked very just, very strong and powerful. So I really like that suit of armor. What else? So yeah, the fight scene was good. I did like that. And then you have, let me see, the Cyclops. So the Cyclops, like I said before, in the book, that's like the main part of the book that I remember, I really like remembering and enjoying. So they go to the island, and by the way, in this movie, it's like nowhere is safe. Nowhere is safe that they go. They get to the island, they find a sheep, and then they get to this cave. And right off the back, I already knew that the Cyclops was going to show up. And I was very excited to see what the Cyclops would look like. And so they're in the cave, and then the Cyclops comes back. And let me just say this, guys. I did not like the CGI of the Cyclops. I gotta be honest, I did not like the CGI of the Cyclops. It looked bad. I know Christopher Nolan wants to go for like the realistic stuff, but it's like, come on, like it looked. I didn't like it. I know the Cyclops is supposed to be deformed. He's the son of Poseidon, but I just feel like they could have made the Cyclops look a little bit better. I mean, we literally have AI. We literally have AI. So I didn't like how the Cyclops looked. It just looked like a giant man with a messed up face. I mean, I just wanted to look a little bit different, but I didn't like it as much. So yeah, the Cyclops came in, was attacking the soldiers and eating them. The Cyclops, like, it did talk, but not like, like a full conversation. Because in the book, I believe it was like talking to the soldiers, and the soldiers were trying to reason with it. And then I do remember them covering themselves with like sheep wool to hide the sheep so they can escape. I do remember that part of the book. But yeah, like, the Cyclops didn't really talk to them. It was just there, and it was like, okay, well, there's people here. It was just grabbing them and eating them and going to sleep. So they stab it in the eye, and then they escape through the sheep, and then they're running, and then the Cyclops is running after them. Now, I'll admit, the chase scene was kind of cool with the Cyclops chasing them through, like, and it was running like through the trees and stuff, and it's like roaring and it's upset. That was kind of cool. So they're running off the island. They get into the boat, and the Cyclops gets in the water, and I don't know, just the shot of the Cyclops on the water, it just didn't look right. Like I said, the CGI looked off. The CGI looked really off to me. I just wish it looked a little bit better. But the chase scene was cool. And then they get off the island, and then they go to another place. And in this place, which I don't remember at all from the book, basically is like a land of giants. So we got more giants. And these giants are in like they're covered in like, silver armor. And there's like a little girl there. She cries or yells, and then all these giants come out of the woods and start attacking the men. I don't remember this part being in the book, so that's why I was kind of confused. But that was a cool scene, I'll admit. That was a cool scene. And them attacking them, and then, them running off the island again. It's like nowhere is safe for these people. Nowhere. So they get attacked by more giants. And then, what else? Then there's another place they end up on, and there's a witch. Now, this part was kind of, I thought it was disturbing. I was like, ugh. And I don't remember this part being in the book also. So they get to an island, there's a witch, and she's turning the men into animals. She turns the men into pigs. So the soldiers are hungry and they start eating the food, but really it's the food that they're eating was soldiers that turned into animals, and then she turns them into pigs. And the way she does it is just very just disturbing and just nasty. Like, I literally turned my head like a couple times. I couldn't handle it. I was like, oh, this is a little too much. But the woman playing the witch, she also played in The Walking Dead. She played Alpha. So that was a very disturbing scene, and I don't remember that being in the book also. So that happened, and then she turned him back when Odysseus found out what was going on. And then there is a part where, and by the way, throughout the movie, they're going through storms as well on the boat. And the storm scenes with the boat and the water, like, I thought was really cool. Like, I like how it looked. I liked how it was shot. You could feel it. Like, you could feel the storm. Like, I felt like I was in the storm. I could feel the weather, the rain, everything else, the lightning. Like, I could feel like I was in there. So I did enjoy that about the movie. And then there's a scene where you have the sirens, which I do remember about that being in the book. So the sirens are singing, and then the men have to cover their ears. And then Odysseus, he's like tied up to the thing because he wants to hear the song, but he's like tied up. And then one of the other men, hears the song, he jumps into the ocean. I was kind of confused why Odysseus, like, just didn't cover his ears. I guess he wanted to just, I don't know, suffer. But he was yelling, because when the sirens sing, they get in your head and they make you want to do things, and it's like tempting. So he was like tempted to do stuff and to leave the boat, but he couldn't. So yeah, that part. And then there's a really cool scene that they showed in the trailer with the whirlpool. So the whirlpool scene was cool. I did like how that looked. And there is a creature in that scene as well, which I did not know was in the book at all. Because when the creature popped up, I'm like, wait, that's in the book also? I don't remember that being in the book. Literally in the book, all I remember is the Cyclops, the sirens, them being at war with other people, and that's pretty much it. I haven't read the book in a very long time, since I was in high school, like 9th grade. And I did see the original film, the Odyssey. I think it came out like in the 80s, I think. But yeah, I did watch the original film from the 80s. Even that one I thought was boring. But yeah, so there's a creature that pops up with the whirlpool scene. It's like a giant hand type thing, comes out of the caves and attacks the men. But Odysseus knew that it was there, but the soldier, he's upset about that, because he's like, well, you knew that this thing was there. And he was like, well, it's a sacrifice, better some than none. And so yeah, that happened. They didn't really show what the creature really was. It was just like a giant, like, hand of worms just attacking the men. I was like, what is this? So yeah, that. And then what else? And then they end up on another island where there's cows, and Odysseus tells his soldiers, don't eat the cows because you'll be, taken out by the sun god. And of course they don't listen. They eat the cows, and then they get back on the boat, and then it's a really, really bad storm, like a really bad, like, hurricane, super hurricane storm, and just completely just tears the ship in half. destroys everything. Like, you could feel the bass. Like, in this scene, I felt the bass. I felt the storm. I felt the energy. Very powerful, scary too. And then destroys the ship. And then Odysseus is, by himself. So, also throughout the movie, you had scenes where Odysseus is talking to Athena, I believe, played by Zendaya. And he's asking Athena, like, why can't the gods speak in ways that we understand? So that was funny. I just thought that Zendaya as Athena would have more screen time, but she did a pretty good job playing the character. Lupita did a great job. So Agamemnon, he was the husband of Lupita's character, which is Helen, and she ended up, killing him. Also, there's a scene in the movie where they go to hell. So basically, Odysseus and his soldiers go to Hades, and it's like, black rocks, and it's like fog everywhere. So they sacrifice the sheep with the blood, and all these like dead soldiers come out the ground. Basically, all the soldiers that fought with Odysseus, they're like in hell. And you have Agamemnon, he's there. Elliot Page's character is there. Other characters are there as well. And they come out, and they're like upset with him because apparently he lied about something with the Trojan horse. But yeah, and then they all chase him. And that shot where they showed in the trailer where Odysseus is like, let's go, and they are running with him, they make it look like they're running with him to go fight someone, but really they're chasing after him and his men. So the way they showed it was interesting. That was kind of cool. But yeah, he goes to hell, talks to his dead soldiers, and then they all leave. So you have that. I was not expecting the guy playing Agamemnon to talk like that. I don't know, because the suit of armor, you would think whoever wears that suit of armor has like a deep, powerful, commanding voice. And he was a strong, commanding person, but it's just, I don't know, didn't fully match. But, I like the guy who played Agamemnon, but that suit was really cool. I love that suit. I would literally wear that suit, man. One of the best suits I've seen in a movie or a show. Best suit of armor. It would have been really cool to see that suit of armor in 300. Like, really cool. So yeah, that, and then also in the movie, you have a dinner scene where, Rob Patterson and some other people there, his character, starting some issues with Tom Holland's character about, Odysseus, and they do the flashback of Odysseus getting the bow. So only he can do the bow thing, getting it together, Odysseus. He's the only one that can put the bow together. No one else can really do it. And they show flashbacks of him teaching, the kids how to do it, how to hunt. What else? By the way, Charlie Theron, she's in the movie. I didn't really know who she was playing. I have to go back and look at the cast. I forgot who she was playing. But I do believe it was, a Greek god. But I'm not sure which Greek god she was playing. And she's basically feeding Odysseus with lotus flower on this island. And he's been there for a very long time, old man, full gray beard. So he's been away from home for like a very long time, like 20-something years, which is crazy. And he forgot what his son looked like, what his home looked like. And then eventually, he finds his way back home, and he's disguised as a beggar. And then, Tom Holland's character, Telemachus, is that how you say it? I know it starts with a T, but finds out that's his dad. He said, "Oh, you're Odysseus, my dad." Comes back, And then I'll admit there's a really cool fight scene at the end. The fight scene at the end was cool with Odysseus and Rob Patterson's character and the other people as well. That was cool. And then they showed the flashback of Odysseus and the soldiers during the Trojan War, and with the music and everything, and the battle scene and the drums. So that was cool as well. But what else to talk about in the movie? Yeah, so Odysseus comes back, they fight, and then he does the bow thing. They realize it's him, he's the only one that can do it. And then Anne Hathaway's character, the queen, she's happy. And then he takes the throne back. He takes out Rob Patterson's character, sends him to Hades, to hell. And then he, rides off to the sunset with his queen and his family. And that's the end of the movie. And they show the Trojan horse at the end, burning. And also, by the way, Travis Scott. Travis Scott is in the movie. I forget who he's playing as well. I guess he's playing also a Greek god. He seemed kind of out of place. I don't know. Travis Scott being in the movie didn't really hit me. It didn't really work for me as well. I'm just like, I don't know about this. I don't know if Travis Scott is doing it. I mean, he did okay, but I don't know. It didn't seem like he fit in the movie for me. I know he did some music for Nolan for Tenet, which, by the way, I love Tenet. Tenet is a great movie. I love that movie. But yeah, John Barthel's character did a great job. So John Barthel played, I believe, Odysseus' brother. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But like I said, there was a lot of slow parts in this movie. This movie is very long. It's about 3 hours long. And there were some parts in the movie where I'm like, is it done? Is it over? Is it done? So the first half of the movie, I was excited. I was amped. But as time went on, I got kind of bored and I got tired. And I was just, hoping I wanted it to end soon. Yeah, and by the way, people were clapping at the end. So in my theater, people were clapping at the end, which I was surprised because I thought people would be like not clapping. But a lot of people in my theater were clapping at the end. So, a lot of people in my theater enjoyed it. They thought it was really good. And some did fall asleep also in my theater. But yeah, people enjoyed the movie. They were clapping at the end. What else? What else can I talk about with this movie? So I'll say this. In the beginning, I was going to give this movie a 6 out of 10. I was. Because I was like, I don't know. But after really thinking about it and just looking back on things with the movie, there are some parts that I did enjoy. And there are some parts that I would watch again because I missed. Because I did fall asleep a little bit. I would give this movie a 7 out of 10. Like a 7.5 out of 10. Overall, as a whole, I would say it's between a 6 and an 8 out of 10. But for me, I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10. Like right in that ballpark. So, it is a good movie. It's not a great movie, but it's not like horrible or bad. Would I watch it again? Yes, only one more time because I did miss some things. But it's very, very slow. Some points it's very long. The dialogue does take you out. Some of the dialogue in the movie, the talking, it does tend to take you out of the movie. Some parts, but not the whole thing. But yeah, this is not, in my opinion, this is not Christopher Nolan's best movie. This is not his biggest movie, in my opinion. I still think that's The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight trilogy, better than this. Tenet, better than this. Inception, better than this. But definitely, you can tell that Nolan put a lot in it. In the casting. So, this is what I'll say about the casting. I feel like certain actors cast as certain characters should stay and some should be like replaced. And I do believe that the majority of people in the movie should have been Greek because it's, it's a Greek movie. And I feel like I don't know, I just felt like the movie had too much it had too many big names in the movie. That's not a bad thing, but for this movie, with the story and it being a Greek, story, I just feel like it was too much. And I feel like certain characters, certain actors playing certain characters should have been replaced. And I feel like the overall main focus, I think the majority of people in the movie should have been Greek. So I will say that. But people like Lupita definitely stayed. Zendaya, stay. Rob Pattinson stay. Like I said, certain actors and actresses, I believe, should stay in the movie. Others, I think, should have been replaced by actual Greek actors. Matt Damon surprisingly did a great job. I was worried about it because I wasn't really feeling Matt Damon as Odysseus, but I actually liked it. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't that bad. So you have that. But yeah, guys, so I'm gonna give this movie, in my opinion, a 7 out of 10. It's worth watching. It's worth watching, again. It's very, very long. I don't remember certain parts in the movie being in the book. Like I said, it's been a long time since I read the book, The Odyssey, by Homer. It's a 2,000-year-old story. The CGI looked bad with certain things. The storms, the whirlpool scene was cool. The music was good. The bass, the feeling was good. The story was good, because it's, I thought the story was good. The acting was great by actors, Tom Holland, Matt Damon, Zendaya, Lupita. I love the suit by Agamemnon. I love that battle suit, the battle armor. The Trojan horse statue looked cool. The fight scene was cool. So there are certain parts of the movie I wish was different, but it is what it is. And I understand why people hate it and why others love it and why some are in the middle. And with me, I'm in the middle with it, okay? So it's one of his okay films, but it's not his best film. I'll say that. But anyway, guys, so this movie will definitely get an Oscar. This has Oscar award all over it. So I definitely see the critics giving this an award and Nolan getting an award for this movie. So I definitely see this happening. But yeah, it's an okay movie. So overall, I'm gonna give this movie a 7 out of 10. The Odyssey, 2026. That's pretty much it. So guys, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. This is your man Elijah. Did you like the movie? Did you hate the movie? Was it boring? Was it too long? What things about the movie do you wish was different? Let me know in the comments. And yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, I'm out. Take care. Peace.